The shadows of Suzhou. It was just before dawn when the body was discovered. The air was thick with the lingering scent of factory smoke and wet earth. A night watchman, drunk on leftover rice wine, stumbled upon the body slumped beside the Moonlight Canal in Suzhou. The man's throat had been slit cleanly, no signs of struggle. His silk factory ID tag still hung from his chest pocket. Detective Liu Jian, 43, was already sipping his first tea when the call came. His face remained unreadable as he heard the report, but his eyes narrowed. Another murder, another factory director. It was the third in 6 months. All ruled as accidents. Until now Liu arrived at the scene just as the city was waking. The mist over the canal still clung to the water like an old curse. Zhang Wei's corpse lay eerily composed. No wallet, but no signs of robbery. Just the gaping wound and faint marks on his wrist. The forensics officer approached, pale and nervous. "Sir, the wound, it was done with a curved blade. Possibly a surgical tool." Liu's mind ticked. 3 deaths. All factory directors, all connected to silk production. But this one was different. The killer wanted it to be seen. Later that morning, a woman walked into the precinct, tall, confident, dressed in Western slacks and dark glasses. "Greater than, Detective Liu." "Yes, I'm Mei Lin, private investigator. Zhang Wei was my client. He feared he'd be killed." Liu didn't like private detectives. Most were opportunists, relics from a time before New China. But Mei Lin wasn't like the rest. She spoke sharply, with intelligence, and handed Liu a red notebook. Zhang Wei had been tracking shipments from his own factory. Someone was moving silk off the books, illegally exporting it through Hong Kong using falsified government clearance. He named a few suspects, Mei said, including his deputy manager and a local party secretary. Liu hesitated. Investigating party officials in 1980s China was like walking into a minefield barefoot. Still, he took the notebook. "Greater than, you understand this could cost you," Liu said. "Truth always does," Mei replied. Liu and Mei questioned the deputy manager, Chen Guo, a nervous man with a weak smile and a silk tie. "Greater than, Zhang was under pressure," he said. He imagined threats everywhere. Liu caught the lie in his eyes. Later that night, Mei staked out Chen's apartment from a tea house across the street. Hours passed. Just past midnight, Chen left, carrying a briefcase, and boarded a black car with no plates. Mei followed on foot, ducking behind carts and lantern poles. The car drove to a derelict warehouse on the outskirts. Inside, Chen met with a man in uniform, Major Wu, a regional security officer with a history of corruption. She snapped a photo. The next night, Liu and Mei broke into the warehouse. Among the crates were silk bolts, mislabeled with stamps from the Ministry of Culture, documents forged to look like state gifts. Hidden behind one crate, they found a locked metal drawer. Inside, dozens of documents, proof of a smuggling ring involving multiple factories, bribed officials, and forged permits. And then, a name, one that made Liu's stomach churn. Captain Yuxuan, Liu's former colleague and best friend, who had once saved his life during a riot. Liu hadn't seen Yu in years. After the Cultural Revolution, they'd gone separate ways. Yu had taken a job with state security. Now his name was linked to illegal export and murder. He didn't want to believe it, but the documents didn't lie. When Mei pressed him to confront Yu, Liu resisted. But she reminded him, justice isn't about who you know, it's about who you protect. They set a trap. They leaked word that the police were closing in, planting fake intel about a fourth victim. That night, a shadow crept into the same canal site. It was you. He came with gloves and a blade. Liu stepped from the shadows. Greater than, you killed them, didn't you? I kept the country clean, Liu said coldly. They were selling China piece by piece. The confession spilled. You believed that rooting out corruption through murder was the only solution. Zhang, and the other two, had tried to stop the smuggling, but also wanted to report it through channels. You couldn't risk it. You lunged with the blade, but Mei was faster. A well-placed kick knocked the weapon free. Liu tackled his old friend, tears in his eyes. Greater than, you were supposed to protect the people, not kill them, Liu whispered. You smiled bitterly. You still believe that's possible. Police arrived. You was taken away silently. The evidence from the warehouse brought down 4 more officials and shut the smuggling ring for good. Weeks passed. Mei reopened her tiny office near Pingjiang Road. Liu resumed his quiet investigations. One morning, he found a note under his teacup. Greater than, truth always does. He smiled. The city continued to hum. Boats drifted through ancient canals. Silk shimmered in shop windows. And in the shadows, good people still fought for justice, one thread at a time.